Hi, I'm Susan, and I'm getting ready for Christmas, y'all. For my cake, I'm using a yellow cake mix, and I'm adding the extra ingredients to make it taste like a bakery cake. I'll have that video listed in my description box down below. It has butter and extra eggs, vanilla, and all kinds of goodness. This peanut cake has always been a favorite. My grandmother always made sure she made this for me at Christmas time. I just always have loved it. I've always loved that salty and sweet together. And my family, I always had a favorite cake, the peanut cake. My mom always loved the fruit cake. My daddy always loved a coconut cake. And my grandmother always made sure we had our favorite cakes. And we probably had about 4 or 5 other desserts. That's just the way we do it down here in the South. Once you get your cake mixed, you want to add about a half a cup of chopped peanuts. Now, I used the jar of dry roasted. That's all they had, and my grandmother used those as well, but she also used the canned ones, and I've used both. So you can use whichever one you want. But I just chopped them in my little mini food processor, and you just mix them in, stir them into your cake batter. And you want to divide that cake into 2 9-inch pans. And once you get your cake into your pans, you bake it just like the box or the recipe says. You can use your own homemade recipe as well. Once they're done, I usually let them cool in a pan for about 10 minutes, and then I turn them out on a rack, and you want them to cool completely before you ice them. Once your cakes are cooled, it's time to make your 7-minute frosting. Now this one is a little bit tricky, but it's not that hard. It's the same icing I used for my coconut cake. You'll need a double boiler, and I just use one of those metal bowls and use it on top of the boiler. And you want to get your water hot, but you don't want your water to touch the bottom of the bowl because it will make it grainy. So you add into that bowl 1.5 cups of sugar, 1/4 a teaspoon of cream or tartar, 1/8 a teaspoon of salt, and 1/3 cup of water, and you want to add 2 egg whites. And you want to mix it for 1 minute in that bowl or boiler, whichever you're using, and before you move it to your boiling water. Now I've got my pan heating up and the water's boiling, but like I said, you don't want that water to touch the bottom of your double boiler or pan or bowl or whatever you're using. Now you'll have to excuse my stove. It's an old stove. The eye's broken. The back eye doesn't work, and the other eye, I have to have my mixer close enough to where I can beat it inside the boiling water. And there's no plug-in on the other side of my stove. So this probably makes it a little harder than it has to be. But if I can do it under these circumstances, I know you can do it. Now I have a timer sitting close by to keep track of everything because timing is important on this recipe. And once my minute is up for this part of mixing, I set it for 7 minutes. And you want to put your bowl over your boiling water, and you want to beat it for 7 minutes. And I have to say that my grandmother loved my daddy and me very much to have done this twice for Christmas. Like I say, it's not hard, but you always feel like you have to hold your mouth just right for it to work out. Sort of like making divinity. Everything could just go south really quick. My time is almost done, and you can see how glossy and pretty it looks. And you want to take it off of the water after you get done, and you want to add your teaspoon of vanilla. Now it's time to frost your cake. I get one of my cakes, I put it down, and I just kind of brush away some of the crumbs so that it doesn't get mixed into the frosting. Since this is only a 2-layer cake, You can be very generous with your frosting. And you want to frost that cake, and then you sprinkle your peanuts over the top. Now these I left kind of, I just did a very rough chop. To do it over again, I think I would have chopped them a little bit finer, but they still tasted good. And now you just do the same thing with your top layer and the sides. You just cover it and then sprinkle the nuts. I used a whole jar of peanuts on this cake. And if you use a can, you may want to get more than one can. You can put as much as you want on this cake. And I just made the jar last. And here it is. It really tasted good. I mean, it brought back my childhood for sure. Didn't that look good? Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is a perfect Christmas cake. I mean, this was part of my Christmas. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. And ring that bell so you can be notified when I upload new videos. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. And until next time, bye y'all.